Are we ready?
Yes.
You're recording. I'm just going to start over again, okay?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center, and published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Salute to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Omar, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Corsair?
Here.
Councilmember Dayton?
Here.
Councilmember Michaels?
Present.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Park? Here. Councilmember Rolary?
Here.
Mayor Zena?
Here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again for everyone's patience tonight. First thing on the agenda to be considered is the Clinton Inn proposal. So who from the Clinton Inn is going to come up, please, to the microphone? Just give us your name, not your address, and how you're connected to the project.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Brian Chakowski. I'm an attorney with Cleary, Jacoby, Alfier, and Jacobs, and I represent the Creative Land Group LLC that has entered into a contract to purchase the Clinton Inn and will shortly have a finalized contract for the remainder of the property. And just briefly, I did get the Luke Garrett.
Good.
Basically, what we're here for, and I know you've seen a number of proposals on this, this group is ready to proceed with redevelopment of the project. So what we provided is an outline of what we're proposing to do, which is redevelopment of the hotel site, which will include a hotel, a market, and a restaurant. The original redevelopment plan provided for assisted living. This proposal will provide for 125 residential units with an affordable housing set aside. So I have Conrad Roncati, one of the principals here, that will go through the proposal. But I just want to set the table and pretty much see where we want to end up here. Number one, if the proposal is acceptable, we're going to ask for amendment to the redevelopment plan. Number two, we would like to be designated as conditional redeveloper, subject to that amendment and the entry into a redevelopment agreement. And number three, most importantly, is a cost agreement, neutral cost agreement, to fund the cost that would be incurred for the redevelopment plan and going forward with any agreements or planning work that is required. So I've said enough. That's my understanding that Mr. Roncati did provide a reduced version of the presentation, and I just asked him to go through it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Should we put it up on the screen if we have the electronic version? Yeah, there you go.
My name is Conrad Roncati. I'm here on behalf of the developer for the Clinton Inn Hotel and adjacent vacant piece of property. So I'm going to do a walkthrough quickly of the presentation. If anybody has questions during it, I'd be more than happy to answer, but I'm going to start here with the first part of the presentation, which is just an overlay roughly. I believe everybody here is familiar with the site. Everybody's familiar with the Inn Hotel, which is the northern lot on the property, and then the southern lot, which is currently vacant, which takes up the remainder of the area on this adjacent multi-family property. So currently, this is the hotel building, and the parking lot that's falling down is taking up this area here. So we're proposing, very similar to what was previously approved, a full hotel redevelopment in the existing property, and then a adjacent building that, instead of being assisted living as was previously approved, we're looking to do a multi-family residential building. this multi-family building, we expect to have around 125 units and have a 20% carve out for the municipalities affordable housing. Here's a initial concept rendering of the hotel. So as you can see, the hotel structure remains intact. We're going to do some light renovations to the exterior, and we're proposing to build a 10,000 square feet premium event space on the rooftop. This would be the only major addition to the property. Everything else happening inside the existing structure. The southern lot will be filled in with a multi-family building that's built over a parking podium that would satisfy all of the parking requirements, along with surface parking, as you can see depicted here, for the multifamily, as well as parking for the hotel. So, as you can see graphically depicted here, this hotel building is 3 stories. We're looking to propose a small addition on the roof to add an event space, and then we're going to be proposing a 6-story residential building with 5 residential floors, over 1 floor of parking above grade and 1 floor below tax. This building is actually 12 feet lower than what was previously approved in the proposal for the assisted living facility. And the floor plate of the building is roughly the same. The gross square footage is slightly smaller because it is 1 less floor. I'd like to quickly first touch on the hotel. So currently, the hotel is primarily made up of a ballroom on the ground floor with conference space on the lower level and some hotel amenities and mechanical space in the basement. Our intention is to build a roughly 17,000 square foot spa in the basement, lower level of the facility. That's going to be something that's accessible to guests, but as well as people visiting for the day.
Sorry, just to be clear, so that means residents are able to attend?
Residents will be able to come to the spa, use it as a day spa. Residents are more than welcome to come and stay in the hotel, use the spa facilities, and this will be a publicly accessible spa facility that's open for members.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Does basement space exist, or you
Yes,
would have to?
this basement space exists entirely, so the entire footprint of the existing hotel has a full basement.
Got it.
Currently, it's primarily used as conference space. There's a fitness center, there's some offices downstairs, and then there's a lot of back of house extra space. A lot of it is mostly just empty storage space, but we plan on working with the existing footprint of the basement.
Thank you.
Just a question, so will the spa be like your normal monthly membership sort of thing?
The spa is going to be more like a traditional day spa, so.
Oh, okay. You pay for the day.
It's going to have pools, baths, spas, facials, most of the kinds of things that you would expect to find in a premium
Okay.
spa. On the ground level currently, the main entrance of the hotel is here. It's a hotel lobby, and then primarily conference space. We're looking to turn this into a much larger lobby and bar restaurant in the ground floor area. And then we're looking to carve out what's the current Palmer's Crossing restaurant as a 4,500 square foot fresh market that's going to be a publicly accessible market. So the hotel restaurant will be publicly accessible, but we intend for this to have a separate entrance on the north end of the property as it used to when it was a restaurant. And then this would be a premium fresh grocery, organic fruit, prepared foods, premium groceries, something that would be a big anchor for the town in this part of the downtown area.
Like a Cinderella kind of thing, kind of?
Yeah, kind of like Dean DeLuca, Cinderella, somewhere where you can buy prepared food, high-end grocery items. Most people could probably use it as their everyday shop, and it's a slightly elevated shopping experience. There are hotel rooms on the ground level that we intend to keep intact. And then on the southern end of the property, we would be building in a lounge entrance where historically there had been a second restaurant. And this would be the lobby entrance space to take you to a dedicated elevator that went up to the rooftop event space.
And the restaurant would also be accessible to residents?
The restaurant would also be accessible to residents. Everything in the lower level in the first floor would be available to restaurants, to residents, and then obviously the rooftop event space would be something that would be able to be used by residents for anything, weddings, anniversaries, or mitzvahs, any kind of event. We plan to keep most of the floors of the hotel the same. There's 2 large rooms, we have 2 floors, they have largely a smaller room. we're contemplating reducing the overall number of units and turning some of these into suites, but it would all be within the existing footprint.
Can you go back to the second floor? Sorry.
Yeah, so we're showing
Does this-
another elevator floor here.
The empty square, empty area, sorry. Yeah, so that's supposed to be accessible for like guests,
Yeah,
like
so
a rooftop almost.
This area currently is above the lobby. It's a flat roof space that's currently above the lobby that's inaccessible, but we're contemplating potentially that this would be like a second outdoor dining space from the restaurant. So this would be another publicly accessible space. This is not something that we've written on here that we are looking to do immediately, but this is something that we have considered in our initial discussions about the layout of the hotel.
Aren't there windows that face that in rooms?
There are some windows here. That's part of the reason why we had discussed potentially bringing some of these rooms together into suites to mitigate the fact that you might lose windows, or we would do a like terrace that allowed guests outside, and then there would be an area that was publicly accessible here. This is a much bigger area than it looks graphically depicted on this, because we condensed it to fit on one sheet. So this is actually quite a large outdoor area. But again, it's not a critical part of our plan. It's just something that we've been considering while we've been concepting the hotel. This is the proposed roof layout. So there's, most of you are familiar, there's two separate buildings. There was the existing Hotel 4, and then there's the L-shaped section on the southern part. We are proposing to build a rooftop event space on the lower southern roof. So these two roofs are about 8 feet apart. So this is much higher than this side. We're looking to build this area outside on the lower roof. So we would still stay well below the town's height requirements for buildings. This is effectively like a fourth floor, but it's at a really low level because this is already a low.
So is the event,
Mayor,
go ahead, please.
Getting emails from residents saying Zoom sound is not working. Nobody could hear this presentation. I don't know, just a few people.
Maybe it's
I've gotten
because
more
of
than
those
one.
things that disconnected.
Why would the speaker be the output audio? Microphone.
While we're doing. Sure. Does the event space and the rooftop terrace have separate entrances, or you can go straight up from the elevator?
So currently we're planning that this space would have a
It's
separate,
needed.
due to the volume of people that would most likely be going to events, we thought it best to put a second elevator core into the building so that you could go directly from the ground level up to the roof, and it wasn't stopping at people's rooms and then we're just going to the hotel.
Okay.
So is the event space available for, any resident to rent out for an event, or is it just for hotel guests, or?
No, it's not like specific to hotel guests. It's an event space that we expect to use most of the year. We expect it to be somewhere that's going to drive a lot of business and bring a lot of people into the town, because there aren't very many places around here that can have an event in a space this size in like a non-denominational environment.
All right, how many people do you think is going to be in that space?
It's going to be something between like 300 and 400, depending on ultimately how big this space is. We think
Like sitting at dinner?
yeah, like a seated dinner.
Yeah, like fire code. Like
Yeah.
my fire code. Same.
Yeah, of course, whatever's going to be the maximum allowable given the size. It's also the reason why we went to elevators, so there's going to be a service elevator as well as a passenger elevator. Because of the size of the property and putting parking in the lower level of the apartment building, we've been able to accommodate quite a high occupancy in the hotel.
The service elevator has a back entrance as well.
Yeah.
On the ground floor.
Yeah, it's not too big to hear, but
Yeah, that's
the parking lot and the drive aisle runs all the way. So all of the service for the entire hotel goes in the back. Over in this corner where Palmer's Crossing used to be, there's a service entrance. There's actually a lower level garage that you can drive into in the back rear of the building that lets you take deliveries and discreetly. It's set up very nice service. Sure.
The parking that you're discussing on the back side of the building, are you expanding the existing right now, or is it as is in the footprint?
It's as it is in the footprint. And then there's going to be 2 levels of parking in the multi-family.
2 levels for the hotel?
It's both. It's going to be a combined parking. So There's almost enough surface parking for the hotel, but the multifamily building, the footprint of it is big enough that's such that we can get all of the parking required for both buildings in the 2 levels under the multifamily building, as well as the surface lot parking. Yeah.
And if we don't allow you to go below ground, what is your option? I mean, we're next to a protected brook, and there's an enormous environmental impact there of flooding on all the surrounding streets. So do you have an option to not go to below ground for both properties?
Sure, so we looked into this, so this property in particular isn't in the FEMA flood zone, doesn't overlap with any overlay zones that would restrict access going below grade, but if we needed to make accommodations, we would have to incorporate it into the building envelope to make a parking requirement. So there's enough space on the site, we've been pretty generous with setbacks on the property for the residential building. We could have a discussion about whether it was feasible within the existing building envelope, or if we had to make the bottom of the podium of the multifamily bigger to accommodate more parking spaces, we could look into that.
And again, those are all things that we would look into as part, if the consensus is to move forward as part of the design for the amendment to the redevelopment plan. The borough engineers and planners should be looking at that.
Of course. So, one of the things that was brought up years back was that if there is an event, that there wouldn't be enough parking on the place, that they would have to use parking from other places, like possibly across the street places. Because you mentioned like 300 people in the ballroom. Would that be something that could fit there, or?
Yeah, we would also be able to create a situation where we valet park cars, and that could alleviate some of the concern about momentary times when there's a lot of people on site. We expect that when we have events that size, a lot of people are either going to be staying at the hotel, so the event space and the hotel guests are one and the same for a big portion of the people coming to the event, or they're going to be people who live locally. We expect people to be carpooling or coming in Ubers or taxis, coming to a large event in the evening, a lot of people don't like to drive. So again, that's something that when we get into the full parking feasibility, there was a pretty detailed parking table in the presentation that you have that I could get to as well, but I think that's something that we can discuss at another time.
The whole enchilada is really the other building. I know we're talking more about the hotel, but the other one's the big ticket item.
This part of the presentation is basically kind of over. I think everybody understands the intention of the hotel.
I think
It's
so.
a premium hotel. We're looking to bring something lively and modern and exciting that's going to be a crown jewel in the town.
Okay.
This is consistent with what came before us last time.
Right. So now,
Yeah, and the size and the scale of the project. And I think we're probably looking to do a higher level of finish and higher level of brand hotel than what was previously discussed here, something that's much more likely to match the tenor and the sophistication of the
and now the second part.
Just some look and feel stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing, spa.
We all love great hotels.
All right. So this is the initial concept rendering of the multifamily building. This is something that we just put together to kind of speak to the vernacular of what we're looking to do. This isn't something where colors and finishes have been fully dialed in and selected, but this is a pretty good graphic representation. We expect that it's going to feel consistent with the rest of the town. It's going to feel consistent with higher end quality multifamily projects that are coming up in towns around here that have done a good job and integrating well. And we're looking to, make sure that we connect with the wooded areas behind it and make it feel like it's a seamless part of the. So as you can see here, this first level would be dedicated to residential lobby space, light amenities, and then parking all along this level. And then it would be 5 stories above parking of multifamily residential set back from the podium. Here's a graphic depiction of the first floor showing multiple parking spaces on the ground level, some tenant storage, like package, anything like that. Residential lobby and mechanical and utilities. Our intention is that this building is going to be lightly amenitized because we're going to have a tie-in with the hotel that allow residents of this building use the hotel amenities as part of their package of being residents. So we're looking to create a symbiosis between the two properties and make the hotel feel like something that's almost an extension of the residents here's living in.
So, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask the same question. You know, we have a protected brook in this area, and it looks like you guys have the parking over it. Again, this parking doesn't exist right now, so the distance between this building and the brook, do you have that? Because all I see here is the railway. There's a brook that runs parallel to that.
So I don't believe the brook is on the property. So we've stayed within the existing footprint of what's existing. And
There's a brook and a culvert that connects.
But it's not on this
It's not.
sheet because it's beyond the property line.
It's beyond
but
the
I think
property.
what, the councilman was
Not on
asking
their
is
property.
how far away?
What?
Have you mapped how far away it might be?
I don't have that number on
Well,
me,
those
although
are-
I know when they
These
cited
are
this.
engineering questions, right?
Okay, I'm just saying right now it looks like there's a parking lot over a waterway.
No, everything that's on this map before it says Conroe is part of the square of these three, I think it's 3 lots.
It is 3 lots. And most of what's depicted is already cleared for the most part. Like the parking lot I know has been gone through various stages of being, it was a restaurant and then it was demolished and it's been vacant or whatever. But most of what you can see that's clear is where this is, and then this existing parking, which is the end of where the hotel space is now. So just graphically where this dotted line is here, this is the existing parking structure. It takes up basically like this dotted red line. I know it's hard to see, but everything from here over is this existing hotel with the parking lot with the spaces in it, and then this is just following the building line of what's there already with running the parking all over. And it's our intention to take this easement in the back here and incorporate it into a nature trail that could extend into downtown Tenafly that we would build, develop, design, and then maintain so that residents could use it as a thoroughfare between the residential neighborhoods on this side and the downtown area, helping for greater connectivity to the downtown space.
Sorry, where was that? I was.
It's there's an easement back here where the railway is. That's like a
On the
conservation
other side of the
easement
rail?
on the other side of the rail that we would use as a,
Gotcha.
this would just depict the lower level area. So part of this, because of the slope of the property, is accessible above grade from the backside. The property slopes pretty precipitously going this way, and then the rest of it would be below grade and not visible from the street. It's a little easier to see from here. Here's an initial schematic layout of the multifamily building with the proposed unit mix. Our intention in the unit mix is just to show what the maximum capacity could be of this building, given the gross square footage. We're still considering the specific unit mix of the property. We have made sure that we've left an allocation in the unit mix to meet the town's code requirements for 20% affordable units. So some of the unit mix in the initial design was aimed at making sure we met that requirement, but it's something that as we get further into the planning process, we're probably going to look into a little further and kind of get a sense of what
On that, how are you going to determine the unit mix? Because I noticed that there are very few 3-bedroom units in this. And one of the things that we do need to address is that we want empty nesters to have a place to go as well. And I think a lot of empty nesters might not be able to go from a house to just a 1-bedroom unit, so.
Sure, so that's a big part of it.
How do we, how are you gonna determine the unit mix?
I think I could answer that question. The number of 3 bedrooms that are designated as the concept or the minimum number that would be required to meet affordable housing. So in terms of the overall redevelopment, that's something that would be worked out with the planner, Mr. Novak, planning board attorney, Mr. Zen, and of course, Ms. Baroga, as we go forward with developing the planning criteria. Typically, you don't want to see a lot of 3-bedroom units, but it's up to the municipality.
Right, we have been speaking with local real estate brokers to get a sense of where the biggest hole in the town is in terms of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms. I think internally, we would like to see a lot of 3 bedrooms. We know that sometimes there's community pushback about the implications of that, but in this town specifically, that the demand for those is empty nesters and people looking to downsize but still stay in the community. That's something we would definitely push towards.
Are you leaning towards for sale units or rentals?
Rentals.
You consider 55 and over?
For this property, we have not.
Is that something that would be considered?
We have some other properties in the town that we've been speaking about that are going to be 55 and older that we hope will satisfy most of what the town's demand for that specific unit type is, but we expect that these units would be free market units.
So families, children.
Yeah.
Unrestricted.
Unrestricted.
Thank you for that term.
Thank you. Here's a rough unit of the floor above it. I mean, it's the same floor plate as the floor below it, so floors 2 through 6 would all have the same floor plate, but slightly different unit heights. Here's an elevation depicting the proposed multifamily unit. As you can see, the parking is 1 level below grade, 1 level above grade. You can see from here how the street side is at grade with the first floor parking, but when you get to the rear of the building, it's a little bit slopes down here to give us access now into the lower level. And then this is a proposed unit mix that currently shows 125 units, but as we discussed, if this went down, if we changed the unit mix and we went to more 3-bedroom units, this number would go down and you would see an influx in 3s and probably an increase in the number of 1. So that's, for us, going to be entirely based on where we think the market is going to be, have the biggest demand for.
Which side is Dean Street on this picture?
This side.
So, I guess we're done with the presentation, right?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it is just kind of like a look and feel of the multifamily unit, and then there was a parking assessment to just verify that the number of hotel rooms and the number of units, if we went for the highest number, had the appropriate number.
So you mentioned earlier that the hotel, even with that rooftop space, is all within our code of 4 stories, right?
Right, the existing hotel is only 3 floors.
Right, and so this, you're proposing 6 stories. So I can't support something that high. It creates a massive shadow on the streets behind it. So we're not talking about Dean, but we're talking about the ones behind it. And also, the difference between the original proposal we got with the senior living facility was we also were told that there wouldn't be that much traffic because they would have these 2 shifts or 3 shifts of workers, and that because basically the people inside there aren't even they're kind of like homebound, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah. So the fact that we had the majority of the council voted to allow 6 stories last time, it was a very different scenario. So this is housing, and it wants this incredibly much taller than any building in the area. So for me, the height is a real detriment. Additionally, another change is that this hotel, as it has been in the last couple of years, has been operating and renovating at a fair clip. I think everyone would like to see, you know, a lovely hotel as you have laid out, but for it to come at the expense of something so high is something that I don't think would serve the residents who currently live in our town very well. So for me, the height is a real issue, and the shadow that it would create, and the invasion of privacy for all of the houses behind that we now would be having people peer into their yards.
So I hear your concerns. We've had a handful of discussions in the planning stages about what we can do to help with the height issue, given that it's a fifth floor residential over the podium, which would be higher than is typical in the town. The reason that I was referencing the previous approval is because that approval at the same number of stories was 75 feet. And we are confident that we can build this building at 62.5 feet because we can go to a poured concrete superstructure here and limit the space between the floors and limit the superstructure of the building and significantly reduce the height of the building relative to what others may have proposed in the past about the height of a larger building.
So their building is shorter than the other?
This building is 12.5 feet shorter than what was previously approved, which is more than a floor. So this is a pretty significant drop down from what was previously approved. I appreciate that it's higher than most of what's been approved in the town, but because it's on the southernmost tip of the commercial district, because there's another multifamily building behind it, and there's some commercial properties across the street, and our intention is to create it in a way that it feels natural with the surroundings, that we were hopeful that it would create a situation that wasn't quite as dramatically different than.
But I think it would be, because if we take our tallest building in town, is really 4 stories. I think even the Chabad house, which is on one of the other streets, is pretty much our tallest building, and that's 4 stories. This is 6. So I appreciate that it might be shorter than what was previously discussed, but it will still be significantly taller than anything in the surrounding towns even. So it's really quite a dramatic difference. So I just, I can't support something that's so tall. And I would say currently, so you're coming to us and asking for, effectively a variance, because currently we only allow up to 4 stories.
Sure.
So I just want everyone to remember that if we did nothing, it can only go up to 4 stories. And whether that makes economic sense for you to revitalize the hotel with it being up to 4 stories, I understand that that's a calculation you have to make, but that's currently what our code would be.
Sure, we appreciate that. We understand that we're coming in asking for something that's above what is typically granted in the town or what's currently needed. So for us, we see these 2 properties as a combination and not 2 separate, development properties. We're looking at them like a symbiotic relationship. The hotel uses the residential building for parking requirements to some extent. The residences can use the hotel as an expansion of its amenities, and we're looking to build something that's, a joint development in the town. And I can appreciate your concerns about not wanting to approve something that might be out of character with the town, but we think we can come up with a way through our initial concept and some discussions with the planning committee and the planner to how we can get to this size project in a way that will feel seamless. Sure.
So, questions for either of you. You had 3 asks in the beginning. You want an area need to be reestablished. You want to become
The area need is in place already. We're talking about an amendment to the redevelopment plan. Just by reminder, there is a redevelopment plan in place as an overlay zone,
Right.
which requires all the properties to be linked. And it would require, and it would still require, I don't think, I haven't heard anything different, the hotel to go first on the renovation.
That is
before you would be able to do the other property to get their COs. The only difference here is assisted living use versus residential use.
And it's shorter.
So, my question is,
Yes, but I'm saying as far as what they're asking for, the only thing that would be different is the use.
so,
You can still reduce the height based on the design, yes.
and this, Wendy, you can chime in here on this as well. I want to talk about the interim cost agreement that's requested.
That would be to fund the professionals in order to have these discussions with the developer so that the borough is not incurring any cost as part of this due diligence.
So, it's not the borough laying out the money. just to
Correct.
clarify.
Correct.
I want to clarify that for the public, that this request is that all costs are covered.
And to be fair, that's our request.
Agreed.
That was already made.
Yes.
Get on the record and making sure all parties understand.
The borough's not
Yes.
spending any money on this. It's
Before
up
we
to the
go
developer.
forward.
Correct.
Correct.
And should it not get approved, that's a risk that the developer's taking.
Yes, okay, thank you. I
So
just
there's
want,
no harm that would happen to delve into this further.
yeah, I did want to clarify that. One of the things that the planning board is looking at is that we do have significant flooding in and around our downtown.
And, you know, with these 100-year storms coming every year, it is a consideration, and my questions remain about the underground parking. I would like to see some options to not have that underground parking, to be really considered. I also would like, if we're moving forward, to understand water retention and water flow in the area. What we had required or requested from the last project was a significant capture of water and water runoff. The building, for example, one down from you on Dean Drive, floods enormously into their first floor businesses. The homes on the backside and the businesses on the backside have flooding in those properties. So this is an enormous amount of impervious coverage. One of the things I didn't hear is any green infrastructure, any water capture, and those are details to be
I just want to
later,
also
but
point out
yes.
that, you know, there's this thing called the time of application rule. And since this last redevelopment plan was approved, the stormwater requirements have become even more stringent.
Absolutely.
And they would have to meet the current requirements at the time that they would apply to their site plan at the planning board.
Yeah.
Sure, we would absolutely do whatever was going to be in the best interest of the community and the surrounding areas to mitigate any kind of stormwater runoff, public water retention, whatever, you know, is going to be required from an engineering standpoint to make sure that our buildings not only not a net negative on the floodplain in the area, but a positive. I mean, we do have some green roofs at lower levels. The outdoor space on the rooftop on the hotel has some green space on the outside. We're looking to, as much as we can, make it look and feel like it's an extension of the wooded area and the tree-lined streets that you already have in town, enough shade trees all along the property. So we're absolutely willing, and if we can move forward, to bring in the engineers and have a lengthy discussion about what we can do about water mitigation for our property and for this one.
And the second thing is, you know, we are reviewing all of our traffic right now. This hotel is on the corner of a very fundamental traffic intersection where numerous traffic lights have now come together. We're going to be, as this council has made a priority, improving all of our traffic flow. And so one of the things at least I'd want to hear on this council is what volume of traffic do you expect at those intersections? You know, what volume of traffic do you expect? You know, school times, commuter times, all of the things.
Sure.
I would very much like to see an analysis.
We fully anticipate bringing on a traffic consultant on our side to do a full feasibility study in the area. And we would be more than happy to contribute to traffic signals or any other kind of signage required in the immediate vicinity of this property to make it so that it's an easier transition to a higher volume traffic.
So I guess the question, Mr. Mayor, so as I understand it, the question is this something worth investigating further? Again, we're not making any decisions tonight on what it looks like and the color, ideally purple. But the question is, so today we have a blight of sorts.
Yes.
Can
Not
we
of
do
sorts.
better?
Right, so,
The question though is, it's this 6-story plan, that's the question.
so this is what's in front of us, right?
Right, so
Okay.
that's,
So what we're looking, the ultimate goal for tonight with this conversation is to get a consensus from the council. If the council wants the borough attorney to put together an escrow agreement to begin working on amendments to the redevelopment plan, where the details of the questions that have been raised get flushed out. And just to reiterate, it's up to the developer to fund all this. There's no money coming out of the borough's pocket.
Good.
Any other? I'm gonna ask.
I'm going to just add one more thing, because to Julie's point, you're not necessarily looking for this as the final product,
Right.
but the question becomes, are you willing to change the use? And if you're willing to change the use, then the discussions about stormwater retention, what green standards come in, all of that will happen with the professionals before it would come back to you. At the end of the day, you'll get a redevelopment plan, which is an ordinance, just like any other zoning ordinance, for which there'll be a first reading and a second reading with a public hearing, so the public will have the opportunity to participate as well. And that's when you actually make a decision on what the plan will look like.
the current use is the assisted living.
Correct, because, you know, just as they were noting, we don't know how many units, you don't know what the unit counts, but all of that will be before you'd have to actually take a vote on an ordinance. You know, maybe the parking can get moved around so that the height can come down, we don't know, but if you're amenable to it, you'll have a resolution on for the next meeting that would authorize the execution of an escrow.
That also include an analytic around the financing for the project to ensure that there's sufficient financing in place for completion.
No.
When does that happen?
So the times when the town would get involved in the financing, you'd need some kind of just idea before you would designate a developer. But generally, the boots on the ground down and dirty review of the numbers come with a request for a financial application.
Yes.
Can I ask the council that we actually discuss this in close? There's something else I want to discuss on the property before we have a vote.
So that's not on the agenda tonight, to even have a closed session. We don't have any
No.
concept of a closed session issue with this.
Oh, I'm not-
So, it's a public conversation, it's not a closed session behind the doors discussion.
Just to be clear, we're voting to ask somebody.
You're not
voting, it's a consensus.
We're
learning
establishing
more?
consensus to have somebody at their expense contemplate renovating a hotel that has been greatly underutilized for decades. No, it's true, that's what we're not signing it, we're just asking, we're
No,
permitting somebody to spend money to.
No, the consensus is specifically about residential.
And the agreement is that, go forward, but the expectation is the residential, free use. That's what we're all talking about.
But if we vote to go ahead, it is only with this applicant that we are considering a change.
Well,
Or do we then open it up?
Yeah, let's wait, time out there.
So just for clarification.
Right, hold on a second.
When you did your area in need of redevelopment designation, it's not with condemnation. So really, the person coming forward can only be the person who has control of the property.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
How do we establish consensus or not go?
So I'm just gonna go around the table as we normally would, Laura, and so a yes is to move forward to put together the escrow agreement, begin working on the amendment to development. Come back to you.
I would love to hear discussion amongst us before we get this, but.
Well,
You're free to make comments.
you mentioned you wanted to open to the public in case there was any questions.
Oh, okay, so on this particular, we'll make an exception here. Or any members of the public want to make a comment on this question only? Just come up to the microphone, please.
Hello, let's say my name.
Just give us your name.
My name is Pamela. I have a question as far as for all the residents in the building, where will all the kids go?
Where, all the what?
Where will all the kids go? You mean which school? Yeah, because the schools I know are already overflowing and a lot of this. My kids go to Smith.
Right.
So we have a lot of Stillman kids.
Right.
Oh, you do?
So the school population, I had a conversation with the school today. The school population over the past 10 years is actually down by 250 students. So, and that's spread out through the school district. I can't speak to, none of us really can in terms of which school has which kids in it, right?
It'll depend on the grades.
It all depends on the grades, yeah.
Before they'll open another classroom, let's say at Smith, if there's space at Stillman, they'll have someone go over to Stillman even though they live in the Smith area. So it all depends on numbers and spacing, and generally in these projects, it's not like every child is going to be at the same grade.
Right. So I know mom that she just moved, they have 4 kids, and they didn't have enough room in the elementary school, so they split the first grader and the 4th grader into 2 different schools. So she basically had to carpool 3 children, 4 children, and go to work. She doesn't have a nanny. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I went to the superintendent. They can't help me. I'm not in the zone for buses. So then there's things like that happen.
So those are one-offs. I mean, it doesn't happen to everybody, but just keeping in mind that it's not that there's not space in the school, because a lot of these elementary schools have gone down to 2 classrooms for the kindergarten, 1st, and/or 2nd grade. when my child went to the school, there was 3 classrooms.
We have 3 now.
already. But not all the schools are, so it's just a matter of working with the Board of Ed to try to get the spacing appropriately done.
Yeah, I'm just worried because like the class sizes are so great and that how much bigger can they get, right? So like I moved from Brooklyn because all the classes were like 25, 30 kids. And you worry about the attention and the education that they get. So when it's a smaller class size, and that's why we moved here, was
Summer
to get.
might be better because it'll give enough kids
Oh,
to make that 3rd class.
No, I don't think so. That's not ideal for me.
I'm saying that then it would open up another classroom.
But then, like, our school was like, we don't have room for another class. We have to build onto the school.
Yeah, this is, so my oldest child is 35, and she lived in the Smith district at the time.
Yeah.
And she wound up going to Stillman, so 29 years ago. So the balancing in the schools has gone on.
So imagine it's gonna get even more now. And we have like 60 new families just in our school this year.
Well, so like I mentioned, the school population has been down over the past 10 years, which brings with it its own state aid questions and all kinds of money issues with that. So there's a lot of details in your question.
And they've also recently passed the referendum to give them a lot more access to capital, and hopefully we'll
Right.
schools are being
I say hopefully because I'm not
Yeah.
qualified to tell you anything, but I hope it will be the best case. And I went to public schools here 40 some odd years ago and watched where we had a multi-age kindergarten and MOA, there weren't enough kids, and to your point, it's a very difficult, your concerns are incredibly valid.
Yeah,
And I get
of course.
it. However, it's just something on a balance, it's very difficult to navigate. It's been consistently down over the last 10 years, but very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak on this topic only? Just give us your name, no addresses anymore.
Jenny Jackson. Okay, so to Julie's point, I'm actually very curious about this because behind where this proposed site is all businesses along Franklin Street, right?
Half the street is business and half is residential.
Right, so you have the plumbing place, you have like professional buildings, and so does this actually cast a shadow
Multi-family building
on the opposite side of the street? But
No. If you go past the buildings and Jumafit and all those, there are multi-family apartments, 2 or 3 stories. I think the Marlboro.
Here, yeah.
over there,
The
but that's
Marlboro's on the
not
other side.
behind this. Marlboro is on the other side.
No, not Marlboro.
It's directly behind the
east side.
Between Juma and the
When you get
doctor.
No, I know it.
Juma and Doctor.
For the record, for the address record, I live 2 blocks from here, so I'm very familiar with that
But go ahead with
specific
your,
area. So basically, I was just wondering if that actually is a major concern for those specific buildings right there, because it's not residential, like tangentially right there. That's what I would ask you guys, if you understand like how the shadows are cast over there. I think that it seems that you don't have residents that are getting overshadowed right there.
So to your comment about shadow, when we went through this exercise 5 years ago,
Sure.
one of the things the council required was that the developer produce like shadow elevations. So it showed like at 8 a.m., at noon, and at 4 p.m. where the shadows would fall, so that over the course of the day, the developer was able to demonstrate what that would look like. So as part of this process, they're going to be required to do the same thing.
Okay, so lucky for you, there's some data already for that.
Great.
So that's great. Yeah. And then on top of that, I do want to talk about the need in the market for this type of development. I know you'll love me, Ms. Councilwoman O'Connor, but I think
I'm used to being the one vote. The last time I was one of 3, this time I'll be just one.
all good, all good. I just want to talk about the fact that, there is a big gap in the market for aging population, different things, like different needs. And I think that a valid point is that this better serves the residents that are here already. For example, I have an aging mother my father passed away. She wants to live near me. Are not a lot of options in town. We've had to invest a huge amount of money to bring her closer to us here in town, in Tenafly. She wasn't comfortable being anywhere else. If there was this type of apartment living, we would have rented this. We didn't have to buy. This kind of option is not really available in scale enough. I don't think that we're at the tipping point of like not serving our residents by adding this type of development in the town. Also, I had something else. Oh yes, I have multiple friends, residents, people I've interacted with that have the problem of wanting to stay in the community, are strong members of the community, are active members of the community, and they want to downsize. And then they're actually like a week before not sure where they're going because they've sold their house because the price, they can't turn away a buyer. They just can't turn those offers away. And 3 different families I know of in the last 6 months who've had this problem. This would be a great opportunity for those types of members of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public here that would like to speak?
Can I just clarify something? There is an apartment building right behind the.
Omar, is there anyone on Zoom who wants to speak?
Anyone on Zoom, please raise your hand if you wish to speak. See no hands, Mayor.
No hands? Okay, so we're going to go around the table to ask for a consensus, to have the borough attorney put together the escrow agreement to begin working on the amendment to a redevelopment plan. So, Lauren, you want me to come back to you?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
What about John? Why are you skipping over John?
Because we've been asking this question now for 10 minutes.
So, well, I don't want to prevent anyone from asking questions. John?
I'm grateful for this, so yes.
Adam?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Julie?
No.
Dan?
Yes.
I'm a yes, but like I said, I'd like you to actually address some of the concerns you heard tonight and maybe come back with something that I think we
Well,
can
they're
get.
gonna come back with a plan.
Yes,
This is
no,
this
but
is about
something
moving it from
that's
assisted living to this.
So we
Yeah,
look
so-
forward to working with the borough to create a building and a development that's gonna meet our needs, meet the borough's needs, and make this area specifically, but the town at large, and most better.
So Brian, I think you've heard, your team has heard all the questions raised by the council, so.
I have a lot of notes.
A lot of notes,
Thank you
'cause
for the
they'll be
consideration.
looking-
We understand the concerns.
Okay?
When
Thank
is
you.
the next meeting there? December 4th.
December
4th.
9th.
December 9th.
December 9th.
Brian, the next meeting is December 9th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for taking the time to come
And
before us
if you need
tonight.
anything else, let us know, but you have, and again.
I'll be in touch.
Wendy will be in touch with us.
Just deal with it, you have a concept, now it has to be fun.
Okay, thank you very
all.
much. Okay, now we're going to move into public comment. Audience members wishing to speak will have a 3-minute time limit to address the governing body on items on the agenda or off the agenda. Large groups are asked to have a spokesperson represent them. Would anyone from the public like to come up to make any public comments on any topic that's on their mind? No? All right, anyone on Zoom would like to make public comment? Omar?
If anybody would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand on Zoom.
Did you want to make a comment? You want to present something? So this is public comment time, so come on up, yes.
Sure. Back in August, I was here.
Just wait, get to the mic, just give us your name, please, but not your address.
Sorry about that. John
Right.
Williams. I was here last August and presented by the committee to have the cage named after the sunset.
Right.
So far, I haven't gotten back any feedback from anybody, but when I was at the meeting last time, there was a young man that was here, and he wrote an article about the meeting that transpired, and he published it on his blog. And, I thought,
Give it to the
There's 2 pages. So, last time we got together, you had mentioned that you had to get in touch with Tenafly United, and then, I don't know where that ended up. And then, I can text the mayor once in a while and say, hey, how's it going, how's it coming along? And haven't gotten much feedback from that also. So, what I wanted to get is, I presented to you guys Sam's achievements, what he's done, how he's represented the town of Tenafly. So we're just trying to get the plaque, I'll take care of the expense for the plaque. to name it after Sam, whatever you guys want to do. But I just want to get some feedback on where we stand on this. Are we moving forward, to name it something that, again, only one kid has ever played professionally at 19 years old in the top 10 fly. So I think in any sport. So.
How's he doing, by the way?
What's that?
How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing very well.
Good.
They just picked up his option for the second year, so.
Congratulations.
Chicago.
Good.
So all very good. And we're just trying to, reward a kid who put in a lot of work in Tenafly. He was a great student. As you guys all know, he went to the University of North Carolina on a full scholarship. He's got that for life. So he left early as a junior year. He does plan on going back to get his degree. And he's also started a new business with honey. So he's also producing something along those lines also. So he's a huge asset for the town. When he does come back, he does show up at events. He's already held 3 trainings with local towns where teams he used to play for. 40 kids came to each event, took pictures, autographs, and stuff like that. So he does give back to the community at no expense on his part, and it'd be no expense on your guys' part to take care of name and contact.
Go ahead, Lauren. So we've had numerous people ask about naming things after different people, which is all good.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of it. So we developed over the past few months a process to actually get it done. Okay? And I think, which involves getting some signatures of people who support the idea and all that kind of good stuff. All right? And then that gets presented to the council for approval. So I don't think we probably haven't communicated that. Right? So maybe we should do that, is that you have a conversation with David. David will give you all the details of the process, and it's actually, it's pretty good. It moves it out of, we know each other, so therefore you get to name it, but I don't know her, so she doesn't get to name it, and it's very objective, and you get resident support, and you can move forward.
How many signatures do you need?
It's 100 signatures.
Okay.
Which actually is not bad.
No.
It's not bad at
I
all.
want to apologize that we hadn't gone back to you, but I do promise you that there was a lot of discussion about it
Yeah.
since your
Okay.
last comment,
Yeah.
just to make sure that it was following the right procedure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
I wanted
Yes.
to ask Mr. Williams, about Tenafly United, were they not getting back to you?
No,
No, we're gonna
We
talk.
left it, with you guys were gonna get in touch with them. I had
Just
nothing,
checking.
yes.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah, but if I had to, I would have.
That's fine, because they did fund the soccer page.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So,
And it
so
might
Dave-
not be, can I just say one more thing, it might not be a bad thing to name something soccer with the World Cup coming up.
no, there's a lot to be said about that. There's a
Yeah.
lot to be said.
And in the article, you'll see that, the young kid wrote it, did a nice job.
Right.
Capturing the
Yeah.
meeting that took place and, thinks it'd be a great thing for Tenafly to honor one of their own. Again, 3 players have only played professionally in the town of Tenafly. And he's the first one ever played at 19 years old. In the 400 some odd thousand people that grew up in Tenafly, I think that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, John, so I have your contact information.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to David, unless, Omar, you have it?
You have it again?
I have, David's
Give
card.
him
I was gonna
David's
give
card, for
his-
sure. And then we'll get this underway,
All right.
okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Any other members of the public would like to make any public comments here? No? Anyone online who would like to make a public comment?
Anybody on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand.
Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Does any do any members of the council have questions for the administrator on the administrator's report? No? Correspondence from Rabbi Shane, menorah lighting. He's asking to do it on the 14th.
I said 15.
7 o'clock.
Okay, so just to put it out there, Rabbi and I had a conversation today, and he was kind of thinking whether it was going to be the 14th or the 15th.
Oh, a Sunday?
Okay? What?
We would do a Sunday?
Well, he was thinking about it, so I don't want to speak for the rabbi, of course. I just want is the council okay with either day?
Yes.
Okay,
Just say Hanukkah doesn't officially start
That's
till
what I
the
was doing.
15th.
right, but it's the rabbi indicated that was actually the second night to me, but I'm no expert on that, so I'm not getting in the middle of it.
The Winter Fest is on the 14th.
So
Is that okay?
the
or-
thought was, that
Yeah.
Okay, so we.
You have to come up to the, young lady, you have to come up to the microphone.
And do 10 push-ups.
Yeah, that's the
My
town.
exact address.
And just give us your name into the microphone for the record.
Okay. Jenny. So we wanted to do it for sundown on Sunday at the Tenafly Holiday Fair. So at the end of the holiday fair, we left an opening on the performance schedule to have the Hanukkah, the menorah lighting as closing out the Tenafly Holiday Fair.
Anybody's preference?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Rabbi Shane.
All right.
So my question is, so the council's good with either the 14th or the 15th?
And our preference is the 14th.
Understood, okay.
Yeah, you'll get a crowd on the 14th.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd will already be there.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, in addition to anyone else who wants to come. Yeah, wonderful.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right.
Okay. So we just wait, get the confirmation.
Yeah, as soon as I have an answer, which should be tomorrow, I will share it with everyone.
Excuse me.
Okay. We have new business, introduction of ordinance 25-32, Affordable Housing Overlay Zone District.
Can I just ask, this is Franklin Street?
Pardon me?
This is on Franklin?
Yeah, this is the Wells Fargo parking.
Correct, right. Councilwoman Dayton, would you like to make the motion?
Sure. I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 25-32 and set the hearing for December 22nd, 2025 at 7:30 PM or soon thereafter.
Could I have a second, please? Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct the roll call?
Ordinance number 25-32, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35 entitled Land Development Regulations, Article 8 entitled Zoning Regulations to create a new AHO-9 Affordable Housing Overlay Zone District. Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yep.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. On the consent agenda, could I get a motion to approve Resolution R25-550 through R25-557? Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Omar, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 10th, 2025, the mayor and the council meeting, please? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, committee reports. Councilman Park?
I have none.
None? Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor?
Yes, I'd like to talk about my Board of Health meeting. First is we'd like to get the date as soon as we know of when the spring fling is going to be, because we'd like to have a blood donation drive truck for that. That would be something we think we could maybe get a lot of donations at.
And incorporate TBAC, they do it often too.
Oh, great, okay. So Mid-Bergen does our health servicing. They've had a 5% increase, so things are going well. They ran their flu clinic. I am going to mention what was talked about was the dangers of lack of vaccination. What our health educator was talking to us about was that we in Bergen County have had a doubling of religious exemptions from vaccination, and that's concerning because we were given an example that in South Carolina there was a measles outbreak because there were 150 kids, people not vaccinated in this school, and 150 of them actually had to stay home from school for 21 days because of exposure for measles. So they really do want to promote the importance of getting your vaccination and following those guidelines.
Before you move on,
Yes.
I'm just going to share a little personal story.
Please,
So
yes.
my father's father, my paternal grandfather, I think he was born in like 1905 or 1906. He was one of 7 children. 3 of them died in childhood because they had no vaccines. They had no vaccines for them where they were living, they were poor, whatever. So 3 of the 7 died. 3 of the 7 died in childhood from whatever, diphtheria, measles, whatever, chicken pox.
And there's been an environment, the Board of Health is concerned about just people really avoiding vaccines,
Yeah.
and they want to relay that. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Mayor. And lastly, the food drive that I've spearheaded, but have been very happy to do. I am going to continue it through the holidays, and people can continue to bring food over to the library location and also the senior center. And people continue to be very generous. And I found out, I didn't realize this before, but you can also bring pet food. They accept pet food. So, yeah, so that's my update.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilwoman Corsair.
I have nothing.
Councilman Michaels.
Super quick, we had another senior center meeting last week. They're doing an amazing job. Over 630 members, all-time high. But what was really interesting, they were telling me someone reached out, had been living in town for 33 years, and was shocked to learn that we have a senior center.
Are they 33 years old?
They are not 33. So I would implore, I asked the executive committee of the senior center, let's continue to talk about it, particularly in the new year. I'd love the mayor if he could help and providing messages, but it's just a great service that clearly we're not articulating well enough. People are still learning about it, which is a positive. But yeah, let's just keep getting people going. It's pretty cool.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Rolieri.
It's the worst possible time of the year for our roads. In addition to the atrocities that the DSMG continues to commit in our town, I want to thank the fact that it is the lightest we have seen in terms of leaf collection. We know DPW is doing something very, very right.
They're doing an excellent job.
Doing an excellent job, and I want to recognize them for doing that because it is appreciated at this time. That's it.
Councilwoman Dayton.
Sorry, I apologize. That's also just a reminder, I apologize. The Winter Festival is Sunday, December 14th, as you said. Please get out there.
I was going to say the same about our leaf collection. I think this time of the year, a lot of residents calling me. I'm really thrilled. I think our streets are great. They're very quick to, if someone's, from what I understand, if someone's calling in even to the admin at the DPW, they're sending the guys over right away. So I will say potholes, we could use a little bit more pothole filling, before it gets too cold. But anyway, DPW is doing great. I do want to announce in the planning board, we do have the application for Starbucks coming up back. That if residents want to come and weigh in on the Starbucks. Mayor, what's the date, December?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot.
Sorry.
December 10th.
December 10th, it's Wednesday evening. You can come in by Zoom or in person if you want to weigh in on that application. Nothing is decided yet. I do want to talk about the Tenafly Nature Center. They're doing incredible programming for Thanksgiving, and they are doing an end of the year push. It's a matching drive for anybody who's looking for stocking stuffers. You could adopt a trail, you could adopt an animal for your child. There's all sorts of things you could do. You can name a bench, trees. There's some really wonderful opportunities for gift giving and matching donations to the Nature Center. So please keep that in mind. And then in the new year, we're always looking for members for our Pride Committee, which has yet to officially meet this year. Been a strange year. That's it.
Okay, so for mayor's comments, mayor's remarks, two things. We've been having the vendor who handles our emergency messaging and the Friday mayor's message has been having problems nationally. So we've been having problems getting some messaging out through voice. Hopefully that'll get resolved this week. And David's looking at alternatives to back up the systems. Okay, so that we're working on that.
Just to be clear, for true emergencies, it is getting through.
So for true emergencies, it'll go to home phones.
Okay.
Right, not cell numbers.
Right.
We have a whole list of, so we're working through this to get it resolved. It's the vendors having a problem nationally. The other thing is happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's it. That's my message for the day. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, have a great night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for the public for coming tonight.